What's up guys, Marty with teambeige here, and today we are back with another video. It has been a while since we've done something, I know. But I wanted to take a look at some of the new cards coming to the TCG this week. The Fire Kings. We are getting the Fire King structure deck this week. This is recording on Wednesday. I am incredibly excited. This is actually the second product I've been the most excited for this year, with the first being Age of Overlord, where we got Diabell, the Blackstar Witch, and Wanted, and so many other great cards that we've seen in the metagame. And these cards are, I think, really great. I can't wait to start playing with them, and so I wanted to do a breakdown of what these cards do, show a couple combos with them, and then talk about them a bit more. So what are these cards? So basically these are new additions to the Fire King strategy. They are very consistent. They get a lot of advantage, as you'll see from the combo that I have after this, and they have a really good grind game, which I think is super awesome. Now there has been, as we've been opening some of the structure decks within the past couple weeks, and more discussions have been had about this archetype. I'll say up front, I know these cards aren't super insane yet. Some new cards come out in Phantom Nightmare. If I can pull them up here. Yeah. So this guy comes out in Phantom Nightmare, Snake Eyes Populace, an insane card, or just any fire deck in general. It makes like anything that can use Diabell or original Sinful Swallow Snake Eye just super consistent and super powerful, as well as using a Link 3 that I'll have on the screen right now that I can't remember. Makes fire decks so good. But I still think that these cards have a lot of potential even right now, in that until we reach Phantom Nightmare, I think they have some like local, regional potential. I don't think YCS Bologna they'll do super insane. I like kind of want them to. I would love to see some Fire Kings at the YCS coverage that we'll be getting this week, but alas. So we're going to break down some of these cards, talk through them quickly, and then talk about some other things that you can do with them. So Legendary Fire King Ponix, if your fire monster that was originally fire is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special from hand, and then if it's normal or special, you can add a Fire King spell from your deck to your hand. This guy's the main dude. He gets you just any of your Fire King spells or traps. Usually he's getting Sanctuary of the Fire Kings, which we'll get to later, Sacred Immolation, a Icarus Attack style card, Fire King Island, your main searcher for the deck, and then also Circle of the Fire Kings, which is a reborn spell. Also, during the next standby phase after this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, you can add him from grave to hand. Such a great card. This card's insane. I think this card is absolutely broken, and the fact it's a level 1 fire synergizes it perfectly with the Sinful Spoils package of Diabell, 3 Wanted, and 1 Snake Eye. If you guys are going to be playing the Fire King deck, I highly recommend playing it with the Snake Eyes cards and just Diabell engine. I've been playing it for a bit now in testing, and it's so strong. But if you can't afford this, there are some other options which we'll get to later. But yeah, such an insanely powerful card. Next is Sacred Fire King Garunix. It has the same destroyed special effect. If a monster that was fire is destroyed by battle or card, you can special from this card from your graveyard if it was there, or hand even if not. So what does that mean? So basically, if this card is sitting in your graveyard and you have a fire monster that is destroyed, so say you do Ponix, this is what the combo is. So you go Ponix, add Sanctuary, then place this Fire King Island, and then say you have Garunix in grave, you go Fire King, pop Ponix, search if random Fire King. Garunix can trigger in grave to special summon himself to the field. Or if you go Island, pop Ponix, and add Garunix, you can special summon the Garunix that you recently added. It works kind of like Salamangreat Gazelle, but then similarly enough to Gazelle, if it's normal or special, you can destroy a fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast monster in your hand, deck, or face-up field, except Garunix. And if you do, he gains attack equal to the half of the destroyed monster's attack it had until the end of the turn. So he's massive, he's super strong, but also he synergizes with some other stuff. So he sends destroys, which I think is such a crazy thing. any fire monster in your like literal possession. So you can destroy Kieran, who then pops something and specials from grave, Arvada, who specials something, Barong, who searches in your standby, Ponix, who adds the hand. You could even, I forgot to put this on here, you could even destroy Kit. You could destroy Tri-Brigade Kit, send Nerval, add Fractal. It's there's so much you can do with these cards that is absolutely insane. He's just, again, an example of a great grinding game and such a strong card. Next is Fire King High Avatar Kieran. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can destroy one other fire monster in your hand or field and special summon this card. If this card is destroyed and sent to grave, you can special summon one Fire King monster from your hand or grave, except himself. Then you can destroy one card on the field. Now, this card is really good. It took me a bit to like really think about the destruction effect, but this card just is a floater. It helps you set up your kind of first turn combo that you're building towards, but also the destroy is non-targeting. That is such a good effect to have, especially dealing with problem cards like Floodgates, because you can go Fire King Island, pop Kieran. If Kieran attempts to special something, you can do that, but then have like Kieran then pop a Floodgate on the field, which is super nice. Up next is Fire King Avatar Hanuman. He's okay. I've been seeing some lists cut this, but I think he's actually pretty decent. If a Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special him from hand. And then when a spell trap or effect is activated while he's on the field, you can just negate the activation, and if you do, destroy one other fire monster in your hand or face up field. So he's alright. The one thing to note is that if it's a continuous spell or trap, he does not destroy it, he just negates the activation or the effect. So he's pretty alright. Up next is Sanctuary of the Fire Kings. When it's activated, you can place a Fire King Island from your deck, your face up in your field zone. So it plays around Ash Blossom, which is really nice, and Droll as well. Once per turn, if a card in your field zone would be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy one other fire monster in your hand or face up field instead. So you're protecting your Fire King Island from destruction effects, which is really nice, but it doesn't protect you from things like Cosmic Cyclone or SP Little Knight, which can be really difficult for this deck, or at least on the Fire King Island. And then, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can XYZ summon a Fire XYZ monster using only Fire Kings you control as material, which the main thing you're summoning is Garunix Eternity, a card we'll get to later that is incredibly strong. So really good card. This sets it as like part of your main combo. It's one of the best cards in the deck. And then, like I said, Sacred Immolation is a Icarus attack for the deck, and then also if a Fire King card you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish it from the grave instead. And you can only use one effect per turn. It's pretty alright. Some lists don't play this, it's a one of, but it's alright. Fire King Avatar Arvada is a monster negate similar to Hanuman, and he negates the activation, which is really important, but he does not destroy the card that he's negating. And then if a card is destroyed by, if this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, you can reborn a Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast from your grave, and then just it gets destroyed in the end phase. So he's really good. Barong, we don't really care about the first effect. He like specials himself, but then during the next standby after he is destroyed, you can search for a Fire King, and then Fire King Island's your searcher, and then circle the Fire Kings, target a fire you control and fire in the grave, destroy that monster you control, and if you do, special summon the other from grave. So these are all really, really powerful cards. Some of these are like a lot better than others. I tried to like kind of rank them in what I thought were like the better of the ones in like, at least of the new cards. So like Ponix is insane, Garunix, and then it goes kind of down, and then spells, and then monsters again for the old stuff. There's not a lot of really good old Fire Kings, so that's why for the old stuff, we're only really playing these, if even Circle. But like I said, we play other things in our deck. Diabel is such a great engine. I don't need to tell you what this does, but it basically gets Ponix. And then Nadir Servant, which I'll show later, is a one-card combo that gets you your entire Fire King engine, which is really good. There's a lot of one-card combos that basically get you the basic combo. But then lastly, the one thing from the new cards we'll talk about is Garunix Eternity. If he's Xyz summoned, you can destroy all other monsters on the field. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can destroy all other monsters on the field. So he's a Dark Hole unsummoned, which is really powerful, and it's great that he's generic. You can detach one Xyz material from this card as an ignition effect, then target a spell trap on the field, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack. So, makes him pretty beefy too, and he also can out-problem Floodgates, which is really nice. And then, if it's destroyed while it has material, you can special summon Fire Kings from your graveyard up to the number of materials you had. So it's kind of nice also that it's 2+, because then you can, like, reborn as well. Alright, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about as far as the cards go. I want to show you guys some combos just so you can get the basic idea of how this deck works. All right, and with our first combo, we can do this in so many different ways. I'm just gonna start it with using the wanted Sinful Spoils engine. All three of these cards lead you to Ponix, which is why also Ponix is here, because you basically, like, it does it. There's so many different ways to do the same combo, which is kind of nice. It's almost like Rescue Ace, at least with what the Sinful Spoils package provides, but I think this deck is a lot more consistent, even though it maybe isn't as powerful. If you open any of these three cards require like a half a card. Diabelle requires a send to grave to summon herself, and Sinful Spoils requires you to send a face-up card to the grave. But otherwise, all 1.5 card combos. Ponix is the true 1-card combo, in addition to the Nadir Servant, which we'll show later. So we're gonna go through the combo. I just wanted to lay these all out. So we are going to start with Wanted. So we're going to activate Wanted. Wanted's going to add us Diabelle, and then I'm just going to summon Diabelle here just to show. Diabelle sets Snake Eye. Snake Eye is going to send her to grave and add special Ponix. Ponix adds Sanctuary. Activate Sanctuary, placing Fire King Island. Fire King Island popping Ponix to add Garunix. Garunix, when fire is destroyed, will special itself and then destroy Barong. We'll go to the next standby phase. On their turn, add a Kirin to hand from our deck, and then add Ponix to our hand. Then Kirin can pop a fire to special itself, and then if our opponent special summoned a monster, we can Z summon into Garunix, eventually then dark holing the board. So it's a really, really cool 1.5 1-card combo that really ends you on a lot of advantage, as you kind of saw throughout this combo. I know it was fast forwarded, but like, look at all this. Like, basically all this is off of just 1 Wanted, 1 Diabelle and plus send, 1 Snake Eye plus send, or even just 1 Ponix, which is great. And I didn't even do the Wanted draw. I didn't even do the Wanted draw because I just forgot to, but you can do that too. So you have so many cards to your advantage that just let you set up a really nice end board. It's, in my opinion, really flexible. It doesn't look very threatening, but I think the amount of card advantage you could produce makes it so. So we're gonna look at the next combo here in just a second. All right, so we're here with our second combo. This is the second 1-card combo in the deck. I think this engine is really cool. This actually is a bit more budget friendly, which is kind of nice to the people who can't do the Diabelle stuff. You can play this with Diabelle. It kind of adds more engine to your deck, and then a lot of different ways to Ponix, but it really depends on like the direction you want to take it. So it starts with 1 Nadir Servant, which we'll get right to it. So we are going to activate Nadir Servant, sending Garou to the grave, adding Maximus. You can activate Garou here to draw a card. Next, you're going to summon Maximus by banishing Garura and sending Tri-Brigade Ferjit. And well, really just send Shureg, and then you can send a Ferjit. Shureg, because you have banished Tri-Beast, you can add a Tri-Beast with the same level as the number banished, so that would be a 1. You can see where this is going, and then you can send, like I said, send the Ferjit to kind of block your Shureg from getting ashed or anything. This will add you the Ponix, and then basically from here it is just the same combo. Ponix, add Sanctuary, activate Sanctuary, place King Island, pop Ponix, add Garunix, special Garunix, send the Barong, and then in the following standby you add your Kirin to set up the Raigeki, and you add the Ponix back because you destroyed it with Island. Now Kirin can pop Ponix, special it to the field, then you do the Raigeki and pop the board. So it's a really, really cool line. I think there's also like a bunch of different ways you can kind of like add stuff here that I don't have in the sample. Like here, here I have the Dogmatica fusion monster that went during the end phase. You can add a Dogmatica from deck to hand, so you can play like Fleur de Lis if you want to. You can throw an Entis in the extra deck if you have Nadir Servant. And like already a way to Ponix, which is really cool. So there's a lot of different ways you can build this deck that I think are super duper awesome. All right, so now that you guys have gotten to see the deck, I wanted to give you guys my final thoughts on this. As you can tell throughout this video, I am super ecstatic over these cards finally making their way to the TCG. I think they are really, really cool and a lot of fun. Are they really, really good? Yes, but not the best deck. These cards have a bit of some problems to them. Once you get to using Pawnics, you can play into Droll a lot, which really shuts down this deck. There's just a lot of cards in the format right now that are hurting other decks, but kind of hurt this deck a little more right now. Droll, Shifter, DD Crow. Sometimes I didn't show it in this video, but there are certain combos that make you play into Nibiru. I'm not a huge fan of those, which is why I didn't want to show them. But yeah, so there's just a lot of hate right now that is really strong against Fire Kings, but they have so much potential in the future. Like I said, in Phantom Nightmare with the new Snake Eye cards, the Fire Link 3 that is in Master Duel, and a bunch more other cards. Who knows, we might get a ban list to hit something like Rescue Ace, Unchained Pearly, etc. tier again, but you know, I think that these cards still have potential. I think it's still a possibility for you to see them at like locals or maybe in your regionals coming up. So anyways, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe to Team Beige. Let me know what you guys think about these cards and if you're going to be picking up a copy of the structure deck. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of content with this, so make sure to subscribe and follow for more. I'm Marty with Team Beige, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.